Well, hello and welcome to my channel. And I moved. We've got some information for you. This really sad and devastating news for you is that there was no Katie Joy live today. She did no live on Instagram. It was quite disappointing because I was expecting it. But anyway, that's what it is. But we've got lots of Twitter and Instagram action, and hello there, Amber Chick. And of course, she's leaving Twitter again. So hello, Sheena. Hello, Maria. So we're going to start off with the Twitter. And I've got some interesting things for you to show you and talk about, and so we can have some intelligent discussion. So we're going to start off with Twitter. And here we go. Hello, Trace. How are you? All right. So it says the Duggar and Bates have used the networks to fool you that they are good Christians. The truth is that they are right-wing extremists that are part of an abusive cult that harms women and children. Gil Bates is one of the 3 board members of the cult. Then there's a reply that says, these are the type of people that make us conservatives look bad. We aren't all freaks, to which she replies, I know. Now, if you've already seen, I've added a whole pile of links and stuff into the description, which sort of will show you where we're going today with stuff. Yeah, she did a whole Keemstar and Ethan rant yesterday. All right, so then we've got Duggar's cancelled, 19 kids and counting removed by streaming platforms. I started following your Instagram, and since you post all this stuff on there in details, it saves me so much time. Don't have to watch the videos since I've already got the tea. So thanks. You'd actually get facts from something as simple as Google, not someone who spews false narratives as fact. Wow. So they're saying, I don't have to follow you. I only follow your Instagram and I don't have to watch any videos. Wow, that's a bit of a backfire. That's a clap. I like that one. What do you reckon? That's almost worth a standing ovation. Oh, file your taxes. It's tax day, apparently. She said. And just a little bit of a segue there. It's reported that the president filed his tax return publicly, and apparently their income, Joe and Jill Biden's income, reportedly dropped by more than $300,000 in 2020 compared with 2019, that they paid more than $157,000 of income tax. And there was something else. And they've given $30,704, or about 5.1% of their total income, to 10 different charities. The largest donation was $10,000 to the Beau Biden Foundation, a public charity dedicated to ensuring all children are free from the threat of abuse. So there you go. They've also released the 2020 tax returns of Vice President Harris and second gentleman Doug Emhoff, a combined income of $1.695 million, or $2 million Australian. Most of it's from his law work. They paid $621,000 in tax, a income tax rate of 36.7%. and their earnings were also considerably lower from 2019. It would be poetic if tax evasion brings. So anyway, so there you go. All right. So now then we've got, who else got their booty kicked by the second dose of Pfizer COVID vaccine? Day 2 of low-grade fever and body aches. So now everyone's saying about how they pulled up pulled up. Someone says you got the wrong vaccine. I felt perfectly normal. Hello, Jessica girl. Moderna 1 shot seemed okay. 24 hours of tired. Then I got delayed reaction 12 days later. Swollen arm, rash, exhausted, aches. It lasted a week. Second shot, sore arm. Slept on second, third day for 38 hours straight. Felt fine after 4 days. Hubby and kids had no reaction to shots. So there you go. Well, I don't know, because everyone's going to get sick of me saying that I'm not eligible. The whole world's going to get sick of it. All right. So then we've got, now this is hilarious. Okay. I find this to be funny because there's a typo in this. So this is what it says. Thank you. Jessica Girl says, I don't follow KJ, but I follow her through you and a couple of others. All right. I'm going to read what it says. The fact that the Today Show even legitimizes Joel Osteen by interviewing me proves to me that NBC doesn't care about promoting a con man and fraud. But that's just my opinion. She was supposed to put him, but wrote me. So I'll repeat what she wrote again. The fact that Today Show even legitimizes Joel Osteen by interviewing me proves to me that NBC doesn't care about promoting a con man and fraud, but that's just my opinion. After the first shot, she said her symptoms meant she'd gotten COVID. If that was true, she wouldn't have gotten symptoms after the second shot. Interesting, Sarah Loves. Did you pick up the mistake? Could you imagine if the Today Show had interviewed her? Then we've got Anna Duggar trapped in marriage with Josh Duggar. All right. If you you were wondering when they interviewed her, no, we wouldn't have heard the end of it when this was. So now we've got, if you claim to be a Christian that believes that Jesus died for your sins, using the Old Testament makes absolutely no sense. Yet fundamentalists love to use the Old Testament to justify homophobia and abuse of women. It's mind-boggling. Christ came to absolve these teachings. And someone says, cherry pickers as always. Then it's, Christ did not come to absolve the law. He came to fulfill it. Big difference. The wages of sin is death. He paid the price with his life. If you believe in him and accept his salvation, you'll be saved. The blood of the Lamb. Yes, she's making a blanket statement about all Christians. Fundamentalist Christians do believe in the literal translation of the Bible, but most Christians believe Jesus came to abolish the law. That's the reason why we don't follow Old Testament laws. Sit down, KJ. I'm finally being offered the first one tomorrow. UK are taking 36-year-olds due to the Indian variant. Wow, Laura. So cherry pickers is too kind. They're weak, twisted men abusing religion and faith as a cover to abuse women and children and financially scam the US government. What they convince their followers do is criminal. The behavior they excuse is criminal. They're criminals ruling cults. So there you go. All I can say is KJ says that she had read her Bible. I'm starting to, some of the stuff she's starting to say, I bring down onto that statement. Right, so there's that one. I don't think KJ has learned anything from the Old Testament. Yeah. Former IBLP members are starting to come into my DMs. I'm hearing that many in the cult knew for years about Josh's abuse. It's sad what this family has covered up. Why, when everyone is talking about Colleen Ballinger and I've never heard of her? So my Twitter is beyond boring. No one comments or likes anything. I'll be on Instagram. Essentially, she's saying she's leaving Twitter. And so someone replies and says, you blocked half of the internet. She says, no, I haven't. Then it's, she really has. I agree, Block Queen. Let's see KJ post anything non-Duggar on IG to her new brainwashed cult or preach. I mean, do an IG live on non-Duggar stuff, like a lecture on how awful the PM of Israel is, and watch the ties. Oh, I mean, IG badges dry up. I love it. There was another comment here too. I feel like I'm bugging when I comment on someone too much. Me too, says the other person. And me too, says somebody else. Oh, that is hilarious. So she's saying, oh, you live for my laugh every morning. So she's saying she hasn't blocked half of the internet, but I'd love to see her block list. So there was some pretty cool comments on Insta there's some pretty cool comments on Twitter today. So that was yeah, that's been cool. All right. So now let's go to Instagram. I'm just writing down timestamps. So there were 15 posts on Instagram today. Where are we? 3, 6, 9, 12. Yes, there was 15. 15. So, just a few. So we've got a man of words and not deeds is like a garden full of weeds, says Stonewall Jackson. Larson Bates quotes a slave-owning Confederate general on Twitter. KJ's getting told some truth. Yeah. Oh, there was some good stuff. So she's there's a lot of bait stuff today. Must have been the full moon. People were quite feisty. I'm wondering that myself, but it's been. So the Bates are so obsessed with Bill Gothard, and at an Erin Bates wedding, they made a cake specifically for Bill on his birthday. That's not weird at all. Dedicating a birthday celebration to a cult leader accused of sexual SA and harassment of 34 women. Gil Bates was accused of covering up Gothard's deviant behaviour and sued in federal court along with all the board members. The lawsuit was later dropped due to issues with statute of limitations and not having enough money to pay legal fees. Just an average day in the super unproblematic lives of the Bates family, who are totally better than the Duggars. Source Bringing Up Bates, Reddit, Tumblr, and Free Ginger. She's actually quoting sources. I'm hoping they don't cancel. KJ, leave Twitter. That's hilarious. What's wrong, KJ? Too many people calling you out for your lies. No wonder you have so many of us blocked. So again, I hope Gil Bates goes for it. Again, there were no charges. There's a few, but she's got new ones that are coming in. Statute of limitations and money. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know whether the guy's guilty or not. I don't know. From the very first special about the Bates family, Michaela Bates is wearing a button-down Confederate flag shirt. Oh, she's going to talk about the fact that they're Confederates. Okay. And then someone says, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bates were at January's insurrection. Lawson and Trace were. They were, even posted pics and quickly took them down and denied being there. And why am I not surprised? 15. I know, 15 Instagram. All right. So anyway, so it looks like she's going to go after the fact that they're Confederates. Okay. All right. Following the horrific murder of George Floyd, and Kelly Bates asked for prayers for police and cried Blue Lives Matters. Well, Police Lives Matters. The issue at hand is the systematic racism that exists within police departments. The Minneapolis Police Department is now under federal investigation for racist policies that led to the brutality of the BIPOC throughout the department. There's no accountability or justice without change. She did not say Black Lives Matter, only Blue Lives Matter. What? Watching her consult her block list had me laughing, scrolling away like she was looking through a phone book. I know. Hello, Bo. When does she spend time with her son that has? Well, it's interesting. I might be able to pull it up from here, but Toad is talking about setting up his own YouTube channel about his guitars. So they'll both be on the internet, on YouTube. Jim Bob has too many skeletons. Maybe Gil Bates will go after her. Maybe, Busy Bee. The Trace Bates, who attended Trump's rally at the Ellipse, is it Ellipse? On January 6th, has also sported racist clothing supporting Blue Lives Matters. The shirt says, honor, respect, as if simply respecting a police officer. She's got, as if simply respecting an police officer. KJ, it's a. You don't use the word an in front of a consonant. This is basic English. I would have thought a journalist would know. Oh, sorry. I forget sometimes I'm actually live. I just get carried away. See, she winds me up. I really hate bad grammar. All right. The shirt says, honor, respect, as if simply respecting a police officer is enough to get BIPOC brutalized and killed. We've seen time and time again that even when BIPOC do comply, they are murdered. Think Philando Castile. Swipe left to see the shirts. Via bringing up Bates on Reddit. Hi, Lynn. So I'm determined to have a beautiful feeling. So there you go. Hello, Peter. That's what I started to say. Wow, what a journalist. Jill Duggar Dillard turns 30. Maybe the next decade continue to bring her healing, growth, learning, and happiness. He must know KJ YouTube will be going down soon. I hope the Duggars so. Okay, lunch. We'll have to wait. Almost killed myself because I ended up laughing. All right, so Jill is 30 now. Oh, she'll be on there tomorrow. And then she'll say, I never said I was kitten. She's so predictable. Like, I mean, it's true though. Derek Dillard liked her comment. Happiest of birthdays to Jill, watching her growing, and KJ, you don't put an N. So here's what she's written. Happiest of birthdays to Jill, watching her grown and spread her wings has been amazing to see. KJ, the sentence is watching her grow. There is no N. And spread her wings has been amazing. Really, KJ, we learned this in kindergarten. A before A consonant, N before vowels. So she's got all excited because Derek liked her post. My English degree is screaming, says Laura. Oh, dear. Oh, she has dragged Jill and Derek repeat. She has, actually. I can't stand even listening to her voice. She's full of hate and most hypercritical person on YouTube. Just my opinion, but I think she's fast-tracking herself into a lawsuit. Her fingers are starting to push the wrong buttons. She must have carpal tunnel LOL from being on the keyboard all day. Well, being on the phone. Yeah, grow. All right. It's happening. Joy Forsyth. Happy birthday, Jillo. I love you. Someone says, I'm confused. What's happening? Joy and Jill have an estranged relationship for years, and Jim Bob's control and shunning of Jill. I downloaded Grammarly today and I won't comment. Should be screaming Grammar Nazi next, probably. Oh, come on. I can actually deal with quite a bit of it, but when you stand there and you profess that you're a blogger, a journalist, a reporter, then you put yourself out to a higher account. This is amazing. Thank you, Instagram, for this. A new way to protect you from unwanted contact. Guess what, Katie Joy? The Duggars will be able to protect themselves from you. Because it looks like it's going from IP address. So she won't be able to use her sock accounts on the Duggars if they block her. Jill Duggar Dillard spends her day with her real family, the family that loves her unconditionally and didn't shun her for doing what was best for herself and her family. Seriously? Somebody is reaching. Her actual real family is actually her husband and her boys. And her kids, sorry. Husband and kids. She's like husband and kids. I mean, if she didn't try to rush all the posts all the time, then we wouldn't. Duggar damage control continues. Do they not put out birthday wishes on other years? So this is from Duggar fam. Well, I agree, Joe. I've never had myself out as a writer, so I'll fall on my sword for bad grammar. Jill Dillard over here ignoring her sisters. I already left and told you fools. What? Happy birthday, Jill. Love you so much. So she's saying that because she's called out the family, now they're all starting to post happy birthday to her. Really? You know what happens when the Duggars are going to... Right, I have really huge problems with this picture, with this post. Because now she's talking about somebody else's essay, and I find it to be disgusting and disturbing. Allowing convicted R and child M into their home isn't new for the Duggars. In 2017, their living tutor, Tabitha Payne, Chad Payne's sister, Aaron Bates' husband, began dating a much older man named Timothy Robinson. Timothy was convicted of third-degree SA in 1999 for R, a woman. He was somehow able to convince the state to pardon him later after he found God. He claims he was falsely accused. He's 15 years older than Tabitha. With the spotty record, the Duggars welcomed him into their home and threw them an engagement party. He claimed the R was totally set up. On Facebook, he wrote this: "I lived with a young lady who worked in a strip club and her boyfriend. One day after drinking all day and part of the night, the girl and I ended up in a situation together because her boyfriend had left to get food," he wrote. "He came back sooner than we thought, so I left her room and got into another part of the house. He wondered what was going on, so I was accused of assaulting this young lady. Jim Bob Duggar has had several men around his house with histories of R and assault all over the years. Men in this cult all cover for each other." Is the little boy in the photo bottom right Jackson? Did she marry him? Chad always looks normal. She married him. Predators don't have a look. They come in all forms. I hope Chad and Erin do not let this guy around their kids, she says. So there you go. Why do we have to go? Why does she have to go that far? Hello, Elena. I'm glad you're here. So what do you reckon? So now we're going to get on to another one here. Anna Duggar's super radically extreme, crazier than Jim Bob Duggar's dad. Jim Bob Duggar dad. Okay, let me read that again. Anna Duggar's super radically extreme, crazier than Jim Bob Duggar dad, Michael Keller, wrote this book. Breaking the Bondage of Addictions, Uncontrollable Anger, Drug, Alcohol, Irrational Thinking, Sexual Sins. Michael's description. For over 10 years, the Mike Keller family has been involved in helping others come to true freedom in Christ. Mike serves as a volunteer chaplain in several detention centers in Florida. I've seen God do miracle after miracle in supplying books free of charge, about 95,000 books, to anyone who desires to walk closer to the Lord Jesus. Over the years, this book has been proven to be an incredible tool in helping people come to true freedom from any type of addiction. This book has been used all over the United States and has been translated into several foreign languages. Even if you do not have an addiction, I highly recommend this book because many Bible principles will be clearer to you. Freedom from past guilt, past abuse, past hurtful relationships. I was going to say past hurtful lawyers. Well, no. Past hurtful relationships, inner condemning voices, family generational curses. One state chaplain in a woman's prison made a statement to this effect. Please send me more Breaking the Bondage books. I can see the difference in the women's faces after reading Breaking the Bondage Addictions. May the Lord Jesus bless you with a hunger for truth. The review says the book is garbage, but look what he says about divorce. So she's gone to Goodreads and for a review. Why has KJ investigated so many around JB? Forgets. Well, what if someone starts looking into her past? Been called the camera and that's several times, but he have been lately in this. Easy to go for the cheap shot. It is easy to go for the cheap shot. So we've done all of that. We've done that, the Bateses. We've done that. That one. Yeah. So that's right. So let's now see if I can find toads. Breaking bondage sounds like a BDSM recovery tool. Rowan Farrow spent months investigating Weinstein. She spent 10 minutes on Google. I know. It's quite sad, actually, isn't it? Okay, this is what, if this works. So it says, this is what it says. Would you watch an ugly mug on a Von Art Guitar YouTube channel where I would discuss my builds on other guitars and music-related topics? That's the question he posed. Hi, Vedandra. I am doing ironings or in between watching on TV and laptop. Cool. All right. So, yeah, so he's talking about setting up his own YouTube channel, which I find to be rather interesting. So with them both on YouTube, who's going to be looking after the little one? All right. So I've got a couple of interesting things today. So I posted this in the Discord. So the man who lost the federal court challenge to the government's India travel ban says repatriation flights not bringing people home fast enough. Now, I thought he would have been on that first flight, but he's saying he's likened the unfolding COVID emergency in the country to a Mad Max comic and says on the current timeline, it will take nearly a year to get Australians home. He's been in India since March 2020 and hasn't been able to get home. He lost the federal court. They've decided not to pursue the two outstanding constitutional issues from the government. So the lawyers have said, no, we're not going to do it. He said he tried to come home in November. So they've got 9,000 people to get home. So if we take their number of 200, we're looking at nearly a year to get 9,000 to 10,000 back. And he's saying it's racist. So he had not tried to get, he says, he had not tried to get on the recent repatriation flights, which meant he must stay in India, which is still under strict lockdown. There is a window of opportunity between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. to procure essentials like food, milk, bread and butter, that sort of thing. I've not been out the house since April 21. I have no intention of venturing forth past this point. And so, so he's, in his court documents, he said he was desperate to get home, but he didn't get himself on the repatriation flights. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why he didn't. And the government has actually cut the flights too, so they're not going to have them. They're not coming back regularly. So she's not going to let that her husband become a public figure. That would make him open for discussion. iPads and nurses. So still on India. This has also been the Australian COVID ban stuff to light, that a businessman from Sydney, he died from COVID in India. So he travelled to India in April for personal reasons and he died in a Delhi hospital. So he contracted COVID while he was in India. So he flew out last month following the death of his mother. And, so India became the world's second nation after the United States. This has passed 25 million coronavirus cases. The country's total caseload is now at 25.23 million, while death toll is at 278,719, according to Health Ministry data. So That's that one. So there's been 2 Australians die in India now. Todd's probably bored. Good luck to him if he thinks he can make it a success. You know, I don't know. But he obviously got the virus while he was over there. So, okay. I need to, all right. The last story that I've got for you, then we can have a general chat. I actually need to show you something to set the scene, because I tried to find some background for it, but I think the best thing I can do is so this is something that happened in 1986 in Melbourne. It was historic for 2 reasons. And so, hold on, that is now expected to take on the smallest house. We only took them based on 100% clearance. Well, that's right. They've got to be cleared. They've got to have no COVID coming out of India. So, you know. So what happened in 1986? I was 10. Melbourne. So I live in Melbourne. Something happened that was unprecedented, never happened before. It was the first time that there was a terrorist attack in Melbourne, and it was the first time a female police officer, a policewoman, had been murdered in that terrorist attack. Now, so this is the actual news story. This is from 1986. So you're going to actually get to see Australia, or Melbourne, back in 1986. And then that's going to take us to another story. But I need to show you this one to show you, so we can talk about the other one. So here we go. And I need to shout out to BroomTube. The thing is, I remember that thing. So this is a new story. So BroomTube posted this. So this is from 1986. So it's very ancient. It's very vintage. Lots of things have changed. But as I said, this is going to set the scene for what I'm going to show you next.
It's happened. Terrorism hits Melbourne as 6 bombs explode, injuring 21 people. Good evening and welcome to Network 10 viewers around Australia.
The lunchtime attack on the eve of Easter came in a series of explosions around the Russell Street Police Headquarters and just across the road from the City Magistrates Court and City Watch House buildings.
A policewoman is among the seriously injured. She has burns to 80% of her body, and Magistrate Ian West was among those injured.
The explosions left the top end of the city in chaos, as it took some time for the impact of the attack to be realised.
And tonight, Victoria's Police Deputy Commissioner of Operations, Keith Thompson, said today's attack placed Melbourne at the forefront of world terrorism.
The area around police headquarters remains cordoned off. Brian Schrouder starts our coverage of the horror city bombings.
So I'll show you this story and then we'll go to the next story. But as I said, it's very primitive, and it's, as I said, looking back now, it's quite fun. So they said a policewoman there was injured with 38% of the her burns to her body. She ended up dying.
Russell Street was thrown into a scene of mass panic by the blast. The first explosion went off just before 1 o'clock when a car blew up outside the police headquarters. Eyewitness news cameras were first on the scene. Just a few minutes ago, a car bomb exploded outside the police station here in Russell Street. There was a sound of one massive explosion, We were sitting in our office, our Eyewitness News office, just around the corner. The glass was shattered in the windows of our office. After that, there were several more explosions, the sound of probably fuel in the car exploding. Russell Street was in a complete state of chaos for seconds. Russell Street was in a state of chaos. Policemen, policewomen were screaming. Everybody was in a state of complete hysteria. 19 people in the busy lunchtime crowd were injured. 2 police officers and a passerby are in a serious condition. 3 cars were destroyed in the 6 explosions. There was massive damage to nearby buildings. Russell Street was covered in a thick cloud of black smoke. After receiving a phone call saying there was a second bomb, police moved crowds back. The entire northern part of the city was evacuated, south to Burke Street and north to Queensbury Street. The city was brought to a standstill. The police dog squad and army disposal experts made an intensive search of all the vehicles parked in the area. All that was left of the first bombed car was a twisted, burning wreck. Fire brigade officers say there may have been 2 bombs planted. Police found gelignite and a detonator lying in Russell Street near the blast. So far, police have no idea of a motive for the bombing. Brian Schrader, Eyewitness News.
Okay, so that's the story. So that sets us so you can see that there was a bombing. A police officer was killed. There's actually a plaque in her memory. Let me just find a picture of her for you. She's a young girl. I've also linked in the description a picture, a 60 Minutes story, which has done that, because that also links the other story, which is now news. So this is her. So she was the policewoman that died, and so there's a memorial for her now. And so every year, they have a memorial for her. So this is the memorial that's on Russell Street here. So it says, in memory of Constable Angela Rose Taylor, aged 21, City Watch House, who died on the 20th of April 1986 as a result of injuries received when a car bomb exploded outside the Russell Street Police Complex on the 27th of March 1986. So if you go to that building on Russell Street, that plaque is sitting there. Now, what's happened is, first of all, he's tried to get out a couple of times, and the government has won each of their blocks. But it also there's 38 allegations of SA against this man that's come out from the 1980s that they are now going to pursue him for after all of these years. So he's been committed to stand trial over the alleged R of 2 women 35 years ago. He's serving a life sentence in his role in that bombing. He and his co-accused have pleaded not guilty. Of course, he's going to be remanded in custody because he's still in jail, and it's going to be dealt with in June. So he's pleaded not guilty to 38 charges, and he's going to fight the matter and hope to have the matter thrown out in court. They were arrested 2 years ago after forensic analysis of swabs from historical cases linked them to the crimes. Oh, you want the motive? I don't know that we were ever told a motive for the Russell Street. I'll have to see if I can find it. So his lawyers are saying that police corruption is why they're being charged. And they're saying submitted that between 1986 and 2012, the police and prosecutors deliberately concealed our allegations because of the Russell Street bombing investigation. So, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't, Peter. I didn't see. Did you see the Victorian Greens senator call out the NT training as a white male? I need to find out. That wouldn't surprise me. I remember this happening. Yeah, I was 10. Let me just see if I can find a motive for you. I don't know that we were ever. I don't remember that there was a motive. So they are. So he's got to go back in court. So if he's found guilty, they're hoping that he will never get out again. So in 2009, the High Court upheld the law that he could not get out unless he died. So he was with a non-parole period of 28 years, and he won a High Court challenge to a law that was aimed at keeping police killers in jail, with the court finding the laws did not apply to him. But however, they specified, the High Court did say, he was not allowed to be released unless he is in imminent danger of dying or so incapacitated he's no longer a danger. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether there was ever. I don't know that revenge. Possibly. Lee. I think the revenge was the motive. I just can't remember. But I know that they don't want him ever to get out. But I was reading somewhere that he's now got a PhD. He's earned his PhD. So let's see if I can find it. But up until that point, Melbourne was, they had never said that there was Minogue, he's got a PhD in ethics, human and social services. There you go. He apparently entered the prison illiterate, and he got his Bachelor of Arts in 2005. But I can't find a motive. I know Sarah loves that. It is ironic, isn't it? It is very ironic. Ethics. Oh, he's even got his own. He's even got a website. Look at this. This site has been established as a complete archive for people who want to learn about the positive achievements, who is the longest serving and most prominent jailhouse lawyer and imprisoned educator in Melbourne. He's also a lawyer. The serious crime Craig committed almost a generation ago, and which he's very much sorry for, are well documented in other places and will not be dealt with here. On the Q&A page, he said, I understand the pain and suffering I've caused. I'm sorry for the crimes of my past, and I regret those actions very much, and I wish I had not done them. This site is not about publicity or promotion. This site aims to help him maintain and build a network of academics and others who are interested in academic work. He'd been in prison since 1986. He's incarcerated in a correctional centre in country Victoria. It's a medium security prison with operational and philosophical focus on rehab. And it's even got an address that you can talk to him. And then he's got a Twitter account. Oh, you just did it? Oh, okay. What did it come up with? Revenge, did it? So 27th of March is the 30th anniversary of the bombing. I've long apologised for. I'd like to think the victims of the crime do not need and do not want to be reminded of it by seeing images. I, like everyone affected by the crime, live with the consequences every day. He's got books, poems, and he's on Twitter. So alternatives to prison. So anyway, human rights policy, because he's got one on human rights. So he's all his writings, his academic history. Let's have a look. So he earned an interdisciplinary Bachelor of Arts with honours and a PhD of Applied Ethics. So you got first-class honours in degree in philosophical studies. Coursework examined French analytical poetry, analytical philosophy, contemporary and analytical philosophy. His honours thesis, What Life Expects from Us. He also got the Certificate of Training and Assessment. He is a presenter. He was a presenter of the educational session at the Barwon Prison Integration Program, coordinated large building and landscape project at the prison, co-facilitated the delivery of the training assessment program units to Barwon Prison, was the presenter of the vocational services orientation program at the prison. So there's all these stuff. So wow, hey? Google Craig Minogue bombing motive. Okay, I'll look up that. What do you reckon, hey? Oh, revenge against the police. Hate was the motive. It says 25 years ago, so this was in 2011, a young policewoman named Angela Taylor was working in the watch house at Russell Street when she lost the toss over who would do the staff lunch run. It was March 27, the Thursday before Easter, the last day before she would go on leave. Just on 1 p.m, she was crossing the road as she headed down Russell Street to the northern door of the police canteen. She was only a metre away. So they're talking about all the people, they're suspects. So it looks like there was a group of them. Taylor got life with no minimum. Reed beat the bombing charge but was convicted for a series of offences. He also, Minogue also killed another prisoner as well. But it looks like it was hate and revenge. So there you go. I don't know how they've linked him to the other issues other than the fact that they've a stand-up guy. Yeah. I don't know how they link them other than the fact that they just ran DNA against some old case stuff and they've got a match. So that's all I know. But anyway, so he's back in court in June to face those allegations. So anyway, devastation in Germany when they had a terrorist bombing on the US, which is crazy to have a bombing. I know, it sounds really weird, doesn't it? So anyway, that's all I really had for you, but I just thought that you might be interested in that little bit of Australian history, because I thought I needed to tell you, like, there's no point me saying to you, oh, the Russell Street bomber is back in court, because for most of you, you wouldn't know who the Russell Street bomber is. Yeah, I don't think we do, Bo. I don't think we do. When it all gets white. Actually, it's my diffuser, actually. Yeah. So I'm just using something called Breathe Easy, you know. It's got called Breathe Easy.
Rita, just something slightly different topic. Our good old friend Lydia Thorpe.
That's the story. That's the story that what's her name was talking about. It's got eucalyptus, lavender, peppermint, and Scotch pine in it, and I'm just finding that's helping clear up my airways a little bit. So. It's like white noise to you. So anyway, I'm glad that you're. I'm glad that that's helping you. Cool. I usually put it on. I have it while I'm sitting here because it's right next to me. It just helps clear it. So here is the story that Peter was alluding to. So this is. I can't even pronounce her name. Yubo. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, the Attorney General of Northern Territory. I'm really sorry. I'll call her Selena. She has launched a scathing attack against a Green senator in Victoria over comments on recent changes to youth justice bail laws. So, there was a speech in the Victorian Parliament where in Northern Territory Parliament last night, Miss Yobo, an Aboriginal woman, said Senator Thorpe needed to get her facts straight after her speech in Canberra on Tuesday correctly assumed that she was a male who was hopefully white. In her speech, Senator Thorpe referred to an open letter sent to the Northern Territory government from a child and adolescent health organisation that urged them to reconsider changes to youth bail laws, which was passed in the Northern Territory on Tuesday night. I do hope the Attorney General, given he probably didn't read the Royal Commission recommendations, hopefully he listens to the expert. Hopefully they're white. You know, white is right in this place, she says. This is the woman. And Senator Thorpe, a Gundamara woman, said the Northern Territory's government's new youth justice laws were racist and the 21st century sophistication of genocide in this country. What the Attorney General of the Northern Territory is talking about is not about community safety. It's about building an even bigger school to a prison pipeline. But Mr. Yobo countered with a blistering assessment of Senator Thorpe's statement. So this is her. There is nothing more galling and frustration when we have a senator from inner city Melbourne who visits the territory for 5 minutes, flies home, and then goes back to the Senate and makes deceitful comments. Euro said that Senator Thorpe had made several mistakes in true Canberra tradition of saying outrageous things to get your name on television. I'm an Aboriginal woman with ancestral lands and connections in the Group Island archipelago with Numbula, East Arnhem regions of the Northern Territory said. I have read the recommendations of the Royal Commission many times over, in fact. So when you front the committee hearing in Borrello, don't play on your phone the whole time. People notice, she said. Oh, Selena is a colleague of yours. Wow. You should take the time before you travel to a remote community to ensure you are appropriately dressed for the community visit and not dressed like some southern tourist on a dry season holiday. Wow, she did let rip, didn't she? Indigenous members of the NT Labor Party urged their own government to reconsider, telling Chief Minister Michael Gunner his team was stoking racist community attitudes. So anyway, very interesting. So then this Selena said, also warned any other southern politicians who feel like using the Northern Territory as a punching bag for their own political point scoring. Given it's a federal election time soon, I know we'll see a steady stream of federal politicians visiting us here in the Territory. They take a selfie, they post a tweet, they put a picture up on Instagram, and if we're lucky, they might even correctly pronounce the name of the traditional lands they are visiting. I sincerely hope they take the time to listen and learn and to consult with Territorians. There's nothing Territorians hate more than a lecture from a federal senator who doesn't even represent the Territory. Wow, she did go to town, didn't she? So that's obviously the Green senator there. And that's Selena. So there you go. Wow. Find that to be, I mean, yeah. You can't make those statements without, you just can't make those statements. I could say so much, but this was about respect, and she did not follow. Did anyone see Renelle's latest video? When the KJ stands called her name, that will get you jailed in South Africa. No, I didn't. No, I haven't seen it. I saw the title. I just hadn't got back to watch it. Really? A name that would get you jailed in South Africa? Wow. That's the problem. That's the problem with her stands, is that they just listen to every word she says. How many people in those Instagram lives are saying thank you for educating us? And even if they're educated badly. Like, you know? As I say, I prefer you all to tell me if I've got stuff wrong or if I'm not doing something properly, if I haven't given somebody the proper credit. There's a name that literally gets you jailed. Wow. To elaborate, respecting communities in regard to phone and dress. Oh, of course there's respect. Really, Bo? Wow. But she's not racist, she'll tell you. I know it's one of her stands, but, you know, I saw it. Not much shocks me in my old age, but the word did. Really? Wow. Oh. Does it start with K? Vote. What was said to her now is disgusting. Because it looks like somebody was jailed in 2018 in South Africa for using a word. The word is deeply offensive and considered the most racist in South Africa. Wow. She got 3 years jail. And she was the first person to be jailed for the offense. Wow. So jail time for South African woman using racial slur sets new precedent. So she got 3 years jail. I'm just going to leave it up for just a few minutes, just so that you can. All right. So yes. Wow. So that saying that word gets you 3 years in jail. Wow. And it's the most racist, considered most racist. Well, I had to Google it too, Will. So they actually brought in a hate speech bill, which is how they got it. So, that's pretty horrible. I walked away, and I don't even. We're talking about Renelle's stream and a name that she was called, and how it's actually will get you, if you call somebody that word in South Africa, you can get 3 years jail for it. It's a pretty vile word. So I think that's that's quite disgusting myself. Yeah. So have you had your award, or have you had any that stuff that you're working on, Peter, where you were needing our help with all the words? How did that go? Oh. So, here's something else that's interesting. I'm really considering studying law next year, going into a law degree. I missed that. Sorry. I said when we helped you with all of those words for all your students, how'd it go? So, Eastern Freeway tragedies. So, this was the police officers that were killed on a freeway. So, they also have convicted the owner or the boss. So the company of the truck driver has always also been convicted, and they've obviously been in court today. Stop playing. I don't want it to play.
Through the way through the sea.
I don't want to see you guys move. Right. So there's been a court today. So the boss of the truckie who ploughed into the 4 officers in Melbourne received a text hours before the crash warning him, I don't think he should be driving. So those text messages was tendered into the court today and showed that the boss of the truck driver was told that the driver shouldn't be on the road. The boss the manager is facing more than 80 charges in connection to the crash, including 4 counts of manslaughter because he allegedly caused or encouraged the driver to get behind the wheel while he was fatigued, impaired by drugs, and unfit to drive. So today was the second day of the committal hearing to see whether he's going to try to stand trial. He came and seen me last night, and I'm concerned about his mental state. Night shift supervisor advised him in the early hours of the 22nd. He was putting trucks on the wrong docks and had a sleep on the way back from Thomastown and slept in. He didn't get back to Lyndhurst until 2 p.m. I was trying to ring him, but his phone was off. I don't think he should be driving. I told him to go to the doctors straight away. And the boss says we'll speak to him. And so that's resulted in the accident. The trucky's been jailed for 22 years after pleading guilty to culpable driving causing death. And so the night shift manager was questioned in court about how he appeared to him during the night shift. So this guy's facing 82 charges at the moment. So the shift supervisor recalled a strange comment was made about a war. He said he could remember a date from the war. It's the only thing I thought, oh, that's a bit strange. I thought maybe he was being paranoid because people weren't in that time. I saw in my mind a guy who was having trouble at home. The supervisor wrote in a statement. The shift said he was finishing washing out the truck when he talked about family issues. We talked about going to a doctor, and he said the doctors are going to think I'm crazy. He told the court he had no idea he was on drugs. That the guy was half asleep. So they're two of the officers that died. They're the other 2 that died. But so that truck driver was high on ice and sleep deprived the day that those officers were killed. So he will spend 18 years and 6 months behind bars. But the manager, or the manager of him, is now, as I said, facing 82 charges. So they've just not said the driver's responsible. They've gone to the company so it's pretty, it's a pretty big thing. We are going well. We have 4 students nominated, and now they're completing our employee nomination. I will keep everyone up to date. Well, that's great. That's great. So I'm interested. Do you think that the bosses should be, or the boss or his manager, that somebody from the company should be held accountable if it's shown that he made the guy drive? If the night shift guy has said, I don't think he should be behind the wheel, he needs to go to the doctor, and then he's been told you've got to drive. Does that make the manager culpable? I'm interested to see what we think. What do you think? Definitely. To a degree, yes. I think they would have to prove. I think they've got to have to prove that he knew that he was impaired or something, I think. So I wonder whether the truck driver will be then, if the boss knows that a Reliance ambulance manager should be somewhat culpable. I think that text message from the night supervisor might be his I mean, this The only thing that they've got to work out now, so it's a criminal hearing, the judge just has to decide whether there is enough evidence for it to go to trial. I guess it's like, I'm trying to think, the grand jury, like for Josh Duggar, but this is like in front of a judge. They present what they've got, and they call in the witnesses and everything. And the judge says, yes, there's enough to go to trial, or no, there's not enough to go to trial. Onion and type, he's not conductive. So did we actually get a time frame for when we think we're going to see postings on Twitter again? At least here in the States, companies force drivers to work so much it leads to drug use, and management knows that. I think that message is enough that the driver should have been evaluated. It does bring into question a 36 hours, Sarah, you reckon? $24 to $72 hours. Hello, Nicola, I think it is. I haven't watched Renelle's video yet. It sounds awful. Well, my marathon YouTube video has hit over 2,000 views, which absolutely floors me. Absolutely floors me. That 2,000 people would, or they've got 2,000 views. I just get really excited. I get excited if I hit 100 actually. Rick probably gets sick. Hey, look, Rick, I got this many views. So I like to go. I like to think at least 10%, but I do have more than 10% in people watch. Why is she quitting? Just that she's got no engagement. She said, I heard what Kay just said about my wife. Yeah, Bill. It's a great video because Renelle handles the comments with grace and dignity. Was it a live or was it just something that she went through the comments? Yeah. Well, my little fan that likes to do videos on me has stopped for the moment, although I did get mentioned in one last week. Oh, hello, Mental Block. Thank you. You just recently found my account. Thank you. I did get a mention the other day in one of the videos about apparently I have stands too. Oh, dear me. I wonder if KJ has the same blocking that Jeffree Star has, where you don't need lots of person, but else everyone. Oh, really? Interesting. Just comments on the video. When you get excited, you hit that note where you sound like the woman. Oh, I love keeping up appearances. I have to tell you, Richard. It's funny because whenever we're driving in the car with the kids, one of them, we're all adults now, and you'll hear randomly, "Beware of the cyclist." Oh dear, we do it all in our biggest, our best Hyacinth. Beware of the cyclist. Hyacinth spooky. from Keeping Up Appearances. Watch the pavement. The Bouquet residence, the lady of the house speaking. Oh, dear me. I watch the pedestrian. Crystal Bondage says you do sound like Hyacinth. Oh no, I don't have a white slimline telephone. Mind the pavement. Yes. Love the bucket woman. You know you want to react to that. Oh, I'll have to go and find it. I do hope, Vika, that you will join us for one of my candlelight suppers. Sheridan would be appalled. I'm sorry, it's really, if Sheridan was here, he'd be appalled. Sheridan! I used to impersonate her at school all the time. Oh. But my granddad used to answer 586 from pause 789. This is John Lord. Oh boy. Hyacinth Bouquet. There were some great moments in that. There was some great stuff in that show. Is there anyone that does not know what we're talking about? Do we need to do a little bit of education? Do we need to do an education? It's just an Robin prank. All right. Hi, you have no clue. You're lost. Yeah, it's a BBC comedy. Just going to try and find something, a bit of a short clip. So it's a British comedy. I don't know. I'm going to try and do Keeping Up Appearances best moments. I think I'll probably get yeah. So I'll probably get struck, but hey, who cares? I would rather have fun than worry about money. Are you being served? Are you being served? Are you free? Is Wilfred Kiwi or Wilfred? Are you free, Mr. Humphreys? Oh dear. Oh, it's all right. As I said, I would say that I'm doing education. It's education. We'll do this one. I think this one is this is her first ever scene as Hyacinth Bouquet. Oh. Dame Edna. Love Are You Being Served? They did do the remake with the original guy. Dame Dame Edna is Australian. Well, Barry Humphrey is the actor. Dame Edna was a little bit more tame than some of his other characters. Just the music makes you happy. Oh dear, I tell you. Oh, let's try. I'm just trying to see if I can find the best bits. Well, this one says very funny scene. So let's try this one. I don't know what we're going to get. No, I haven't. She's keeping up an appearance that she's middle class England, but really she's lower class. The rest of her family are lower class, and she's trying to show that she's middle class. So she's trying to keep up. That's why it's keeping up appearances that, you know, she's embarrassed by her family. Sheridan is the perfect child, and he's a mummy's boy, and that's your aunt all over, says Laura. And the hilarious thing is is that as the series goes on, you work out that she's so happy that Sheridan will never get married and he hasn't met a girl yet, but she hasn't clicked that he's living with a boy and that they're friends. And she's really happy that he's got a boyfriend, but he's really a boyfriend, and it doesn't hurt. Richard, the husband, he clicks on it. He works out what's going on, but she's so oblivious to it. British shows always amaze me when they get Americanized. The problem is she always makes things worse and ends up embarrassing herself. So, and I think that's what makes it really funny. And you got the long-suffering husband, Richard, it's hilarious. As I said, moved in with a rather suitable friend. Got prizes for embroidery. Oh. Your Father Ted's funny as well. I like Father Ted. I thought the girl from the original Warfare was Faulty Towers. Faulty Towers is funny too, but it is so politically incorrect. I mean, you know, and I think that's what's funny about it. I mean, Drunklace is politically incorrect at the best of times, but you know, definitely politically incorrect. You know, but it's very clever. Sorry. So I think on that note, I might call it a night because I've got nothing else to really talk about. Well, it's a lot older too. Oh, 40 Towers is a lot older. Yeah, I mean, is it the 80s? 40 Towers? Yeah, so it stars Drunklace. 1975 to 1979. There was only 12 episodes, which is really amazing because there's 12 episodes and they're memorable. And yeah, so it was written by John Cleese and his then wife, Connie Booth, who actually was separated and divorcing in the second series. I haven't heard any updates on the KJ Tardy settlement front. No, I haven't. So there are some really funny. All right, let's look. All right, I'll get you a clip from 40 Towers. All right, we'll go. We may as well go. Oh, that's all right, Wind Whispers. I'm always up for so do we want to see the clip Don't Mention the War about the Germans, or do we want to watch Basil giving Manuel a lesson, or do we want Basil with Mrs. Richards, because that's a good scene too. There's some really good scenes, you know. Oh, you know what? Let's start. Because the Don't Mention the War was actually removed from the was removed from has actually been removed out of the set, I believe, because they said it was offensive. All right, so this is a little snippet from Fawlty Towers. All right, here we go. I know, that's why I went for the Fawlty Towers 10 best bits or something, although I don't know that I could pick 10. If my internet decides to work. I've got to be off by midnight in case my internet drops too. All right, so here we go.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Molly. Would you mind moving to that table? Could I ask you please to move to that table over there? I'm so sorry to trouble you. This is Lord Melbury's there, is it? Lord Melbury, when he says with
A bit funny. I think it's the standard of the. I think it's just the reproduction of it. But Fawlty Towers was actually based on a real place that the Monty Python crew went at, and he actually has essentially based this whole series off this horrible hotel they all stayed at. And the owner was actually Basil. Yeah, so it's actually based on, this one's a good one too. They're all really good bits. All right, so here we go. This episode was called Basil the Rat, and Basil the Manuel, who's the busboy, he thought he had a hamster, but it ended up being a rat, and he named the rat Basil. And so now Basil has escaped. Hello, all things sassy. How are you? Thank you. And Beatrix Kiddo, hello. Good morning. Elizabeth says, I love Fawlty Towers. It's always been one of the shows I bring out when I'm sick to watch back to back. I love, it's so funny back to back. John Cleese, I'll have to pull out the John Cleese and Colbert silly hat one. Oh, it's hilarious. So we'll watch the end of this bit, and then we'll look at the.
He's from Barcelona.
So they always go. He's from. What are we watching? This is a snippet from an episode, a BBC episode called Fawlty Towers. We were just talking about British comedies. So yeah, that's Fawlty Towers stars John Cleese. So it's a good one if you want to have a look at, because. I'll do, and John Cleese Colbert hat. Yeah, because it is very funny. What was the show with the lady of the house speaking? Absolute. That was Keeping Up Appearances. We saw that one before. We watched that one just before. Is it the big furry hat you said? All right, let's have a look. I have to say, I'm a bit of a fan of John Cleese. I do like John Cleese. I'd be on the couch. I'm not going to lie, but I'd have a blast if I stayed in a place like this. I'd be on the couch. Ab Fab was pretty good as well. Yeah. So there was a... I think it's going to be I haven't seen this, but I'm assuming that it's going to be a redo of a Monty Python sketch with John Cleese. Oh, a bit late, but I made it. Oh, I'm sorry it kept coming up as spam. Don't mean to offend. It needs to be changed. I'm going to insult you to your face. Well, that's. There you go. So there you go. I have to say the I do like the Ministry of Silly Warts. Oh, it was a great burn for Clace, yes. But he knows exactly that, you know, what they did was that what Python did and got away with was very special. They know that. So for I don't know, have we got any Aussies still around? We had a show when I was growing up called Play School, and still on, but it's a lot more people friend. It's a lot more politically correct. But there was a guy on there who was very popular, particularly with the adults, because he often made things would go over the kids' heads, but the parents got them. So he would often do stuff. So here it is. Oh, did they? I'll have to have a look at that. So this is from a show called Play School, which was a kids show. I think it's been going for over 50 years, but this is for the Aussies. They were
sourced from the Australian Television Archive.
So here we go.
There's a good film on tonight. I was wondering if you'd like to come and see it with me.
Not just now. Running to the corner, running very fast. Running to the corner, getting there at last. Rub and scrub and wash your dirty tummy. Running from the corner, run back home and then. Running from the corner, getting there and then. Spaghetti wriggling round and round. Spaghetti wriggling round and round. Goes well with the custard. Johnny works with one hammer, one hammer, one hammer. Johnny works with one hammer, then he works with two.
Al got a ribbon for being the best hooter.
Best hooter, I think. Bonk there, best hooter. Well done, Al.
Best hooter.
So we better say goodbye.
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 You gonna keep this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I've got hang on my wall.
So anyway, he was quite funny. As I said, he made jokes that kids didn't understand, but the adults did. So anyway, so look, I think it's time for me to head off now and head to bed. I got some uni work to do, and we've dropped down 30 people. we started 100, we're down to 64. Getting more than that. So anyway, I want to thank you all for watching with me. For joining me tonight. I got tired of oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know how it happened. Though I did notice a lot of your comments went in my how to for review, but I always undid them. But there's none in there now. Yeah. I'm just glad that you're all here and really appreciate it. So tomorrow is Wednesday for me. So being Tuesday night. So I'll catch you all tomorrow night. If you get a chance to have a look at the recorded videos we uploaded a few today. Some of them I've actually pre-recorded. I think I only did one today, but they just needed editing. So some days there'll be lots of videos that I'll do. Some days there won't be any. There'll be just the live stream. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it all. And I will catch you again soon. If you haven't liked the stream, or if you haven't liked, can you hit your like on the way out? If you haven't subscribed, do that as well. Thank you very much.